Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome, Cheap Shot Nation. You may notice a new background behind me. That's because my studio is being decorated as we speak. But we've got a lot to get through today because it is 2001, although it's 2021. We're going through the year 2001 and it's Judgment Day from the 20th of May 2001, and it was brought to you from the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California. So if you want to watch the rest of this retro review, and we sincerely hope that you do, then please stick with us through the intro and into the main part of the video. We begin this pay-per-view with a look at the commentary team, which features the incomprehensible, delightful, dastardly Paul Heyman, and of course good old JR, who is now on the other show 20 years later. We go into the first match, which is William Regal, hello, versus Rikishi, and my goodness, can William Regal pull some faces? The answer is yes, he can. This match was hilarious for the facial expressions of William Regal after Rikishi stuffed his face up his arse. And yeah, this is things that happened in wrestling. You know, if you're watching this, you're obviously a wrestling fan, or at least I would hope you are. If you're not, then you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Well, Rikishi was a big chap. He used to wear basically a thong, and then he used to stick his arse in people's faces, and it was a genuine wrestling move, like one of the biggest entertaining wrestling moves of 2001. Believe it or not, that's wrestling for you. Thing is, here we got the promos beforehand. Well, William Regal was saying that the consequences of besmirching the William Regal would be dire and permanent. So we've got a contrast in styles here. Stinkface early on gets Regal to pull these faces that I've been talking to you about. But Regal gains then the upper hand as he rolls out of the ring and cuts Rikishi off with a low blow, and it was totally legal because the referee, he didn't see it, you see, and that's how you get away with things. Rikishi gets a second wind, believe it or not, and hits the Stinkface again. William Regal, his face there, actually the first one, thinking back at it now, the first one was cut off with a low blow, but Rikishi is such a huge guy that the referee did not see it. The second one hit, that's where Regal cuts him off with the faces and pretending to be sick on the crowd and stuff like that, you see. Half a cheap shot, so that face here gets an extra half a cheap shot on my review. He gets busted open, but gets back in the ring. Rikishi misses the corner charge. Regal hits a Regal cutter, and Regal wins the match. I'm going to give this one 2.5 cheap shots out of 5. A very fun opener to this card. Kurt Angle next goes to see Edge and Christian for advice. He is told that falling off the ladder sucks, and if you do come down with the medals, of course referring to Kurt Angle's match with Chris Benoit for the Olympic gold medals, which are hanging above the ring in this ladder match. It's 2 out of 3 falls. So yeah, it's like 3 stages of hell match, this actually. 2 out of 3 falls. It is Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle for the gold medals, which are going to be potentially hanging above the ring. The first bout is pinfalls only. Angle gets in a cheap shot nice and early and into 3 German suplexes in a row, goes up top, misses a headbutt, and Benoit hits Angle with the Angle Slam for the first fall Benoit goes 1-0 up. Second fall is submissions only. This one starts off with a crossface. Angle escapes. Angle into the steps outside. He's thrown into the steps, and total Benoit reversal here on the chop, and Benoit into the post. Nuts first. So he misses the chop, he gets picked up like he's going to go belly to back and runs him into the post. So it's only submission, so I'm guessing there's no rules basically. Nice and even middle bout here. The second fall, as middle of the second fall, as both fight to get the advantage and get the submission. If you know Kurt Angle and Benoit, both of the finishes are submissions, or at least one of them. Benoit hits a figure of 4, but is reversed into the ropes, and the focus now is on the knees of Angle. Angle slam gets hit on Benoit. Angle gets the ankle lock and takes the second fall, as Chris Benoit takes the hit on this one, knowing that there is a third fall coming up if he taps, and basic preservation of self. Third match is a ladder match. This is a chop fest to start off with, and you wouldn't think that in a ladder match, but it is. Angle retrieves a ladder from under the ring and gets knocked off the ladder by Chris Benoit. Benoit goes up top and he falls off as well, but inflicts a lot of punishment on Kurt Angle. First ladder is used as a weapon, so at this point they are jockeying for position. You into the ribs of Benoit, and the Angle is dumped outside straight after, and Benoit returns the favour. Benoit goes up top again and gets a cheap shot for his troubles. Angle gets the ladder and dumped on his face then, and German suplex for his sins as he tries to retrieve his gold medals from above the ring. The ladder to the chin of Angle. Angle is trapped underneath the ladder as Benoit climbs up the ladder, but he manages to lift the ladder and Benoit takes a spill. Crossface is locked in, but Edge and Christian of course cause him to cause the distraction, and Angle retrieves the gold medals. Great match from these two as per usual. 4.5 cheap shots out of 5, taking half cheap shot away for the distraction by Edge and Christian. As totally awesome as Edge and Christian are, this match was pretty awesome before they before they interjected themselves. So that's why I'm giving it half a cheap shot less, but it was a damn near perfect match once again. So we go to the back now, and Undertaker is demanding a no-holds-barred match against Triple H and Austin, I believe, in the last match. Jerry Lynn is the light heavyweight champion at WWF New York, so it's who is the superstar at WWF New York. So they've got one of the champions over there. It's usually a jobber. That puts in perspective exactly what the WWF thought of the light heavyweight championship at this point in time. We get next a rhyme, because we've got Killing with a Chain. You see? And then we go straight into the hardcore championship match, which is Test versus Big Show versus Rhino. Double team on Big Show, trying to take the big guy out. Doesn't take long for Show to come back and beat people up on this one. Test tries to choke out the Show, and Rhino runs into a shopping trolley because gore. Head first, Rhino pinned against the wall. Show taken out by Test. Test and Rhino battle back to the ring, and DDT on the lid. Chokeslam followed by a boot by Test. Gore through the trash can, and Rhino retains his championship. So a lot of that match did happen outside the ring. It is the Hardcore Championship. It is a great championship. If you get a chance to go back to 2001, really fun, really entertaining. Everything that the 24/7 Championship hopes it could ever be, but it's just not. 3 cheap shots out of 5 for this one. Always fun. So Regal, having gone through his match, he tells Austin about the match with the Undertaker later, being in a no-holds-barred match, and sort of going, oh, you know, I had to do it, I was being threatened and all that kind of jazz. So we go on to the Women's Championship next. It is Lita versus Chyna, and a hug before the match shows that both of these gals are babyface characters here, and it's just an establishing move here. But Chyna is of course dominant. Lita coming in off the back of an impressive showing in the women's division here, but Chyna is just so dominant after picking up the championship at I think it was at WrestleMania actually. But Chyna is acting the heel here, makes a very heel move, and she gets the chance to cover. Cross arm breaker, Chyna powers out from Lita's cross arm breaker, powerbomb by Chyna for the win. And again, this gives you an idea of what the women's division meant to the WWF at this point in time. I'm going to give this one 2 out of 5 cheap shots. Better than most women's matches at the time, but that's because of the people that were in it. Kurt Angle next thanks his buddies for supporting him as we go on to the next match, which is the Intercontinental title match, which is a chain match. So this is Triple H beating Kane for the championship, Kane coming back for the championship. So this one starts off outside the ring, as you can expect. Is a chain match, of course, and both are chained together. The game takes full control and dishes out a lot of punishment on Kane's arm, very heavily strapped at this point in time. Triple H is opened up because that's what he was known for, wearing a crimson mask back in 2001. Kane now in full control and hammering on Triple H with the chain and hanging him over the top rope, because they could get away with that in 2001. Kane hits a choke slam. Austin comes out to make the save, swings for the fences with the chair and misses. Misses Kane, hits Triple H. Austin taken out, pin. Kane wins, and we have a new Intercontinental Champion. This match was actually pretty darn good, and I'm going to give this 4 cheap shots out of 5. Again, taking away a cheap shot for the interference and the dissension in the ranks of the 2-man power trip. Ever since WrestleMania, these two have been on an absolute tear. One was the IC champion, and the other one was the WWF champion, of course going against the Undertaker later on. Tag team turmoil next. We get the APA versus the Radicals to start us off with, and they come out with Terry, Spinebuster by Farouk, and the Radicals go out first. So I think there's about 5 teams in this match. Dudley Boys come out next with Spike, Clothesline from Hell, and the Acolytes are cleaning house here in this one. Help from the Hollies putting Spike through the table. So they got distracted. Spike went through the table. The Hollies walk away laughing. X Factor, which features X-Pac and Justin Credible, come out with Albert, because, you know, why not? Everyone gets the third person apart from the Acolytes. Albert holds Bradshaw's foot as the X Factor win that one with the foot under the rope. Just an observation that I made. The Hardy Boys come out next, and we get the Hardy Boys versus the X Factor. X-Pac pins Matt Hardy, believe it or not. The Hardy Boys go out, and after a thrust kick from Justin Credible, who did that behind the referee's back, and X-Pac picks up the win for his team. Jericho and Chris Benoit are the next team here, because Jericho needed a partner in this one. Benoit thought, well, he just had that wicked match and he wanted some gold, so why not? You know, these two made a cracking team, and considering they were fighting against each other not long ago, great, absolutely fantastic. We get the finish here on X-Pac and just incredible as a double submission from both Chris's, Walls of Jericho and the Crippler Crossface. Edge and Christian come out next. Crossface on Christian gets the submission victory. This was a great advert for tag team wrestling. The only thing is that a tag team didn't really win this because they were two singles competitors coming together, but they were absolutely awesome. Much like when Benoit and Angle went together to get the SmackDown tag team titles probably about a year or two after this. Sometimes those mismatched pairs, they just work. Team Hell know anybody? Anyway, I'm going to give this one a 3.5 cheap shots out of 5 because it was a great advert for tag team wrestling at the time. But I'm going to give him that 3.5 out of 5 because of the X Factor hijinks during the match. We go on to the next match now, which is the main event match. WWF Championship on the line, no holds barred match as per requested by The Undertaker. It is The Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. But it doesn't take long for the match to go street, of course, because it is no holds barred. And from start to finish, this match was absolutely brutal. These two have such good chemistry together, and I don't think I've ever seen them in a terrible match between them, especially when they're together. And I expect nothing less from these two. These two had such a good rivalry back in 2001, of course. The beginning of the end to this match is Stone Cold hitting The Undertaker with a wicked chair shot, and then, of course, Kane coming down to make the save. He doesn't make the pin. Kane coming down to make the save. Triple H coming down to help Stone Cold Steve Austin, even though he cost him the Intercontinental Championship. Vince got in his ear and then said, go and sort it out, Triple H, because, you know, we can't let this alliance fall by the wayside. And so he did, and he went for it, and there you go. We get a Stone Cold Steve Austin victory here for that reason, and the sledgehammer shot to the Undertaker after Kane had been taken out of the match. This match was absolutely brilliant. Didn't expect anything less from these two, to be quite honest, and really, really good advert for main event WWE at the time. So with that, that is everything that happened on the 20th of May 2001. So I was going to say 2021 then, but we're in 2001 at Unforgiven in Sacramento, California. We're going to roll on to the next pay-per-view very, very soon. Obviously, these pay-per-views are coming out 20 years to the day the pay-per-views actually happened, so they could arrive at any day. And I'd just like to thank you for helping us to get to 1,000 subscribers and beyond. It just seems like a skyrocket has been lit to get all these subscribers. So I want to thank you, the Cheap Shot Nation. I've been your host, Luke. You've been watching Cheap Shot Entertainment's main channel, which is about the fabulous, entertaining thing that is wrestling. And if you saw my earlier part with where I was trying to describe William Regal and Rikishi, then you'll know why. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.